Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
All right, folks, Snedeker here, Mr. Curiosity. I got Sherman Burdette with me now. Sherman's already laughing because he's like thinking, really, you call yourself Mr. Curiosity?
I was going to say, what the heck is that all about?
Do you think that's cheesy? I don't know.
I think it's real cheesy.
Well, I don't want to call, I think it would be pretty egotistical to call it the Joe Snedeker podcast. So I'm curious about so many things. I give it the name Mr. Curiosity.
Okay. All right. I guess that's what, if you want to go with that, then that's good. I'm down with it. Mr. Curiosity. So should I refer to you as Mr. Curiosity?
No, you can call me anything you want. Okay. But the truth is, Sherman, you have to admit, because we've known each other for a long time, I have like that curiosity that some people have. I'm curious about everything.
You know, there's something that you would blurt out in the newsroom all the time, and I still blurt out from time to time if I hear something. Fake laugh.
You're good at, you took that with you?
Fake laugh. It's here. It's in Indiana. It's in Indianapolis. I know that's an inside.
Yeah, fake laugh. Fake laugh. Fake laugh. Right. So let's get.
Someone laughs and they're not really. They sound like they're not really laughing. So anyway.
Say fake laugh. I know it makes
fake laugh. I say it to myself all the time.
All right. So how should we even start this? I want to let everyone know, for maybe there's someone who's turning into this podcast, turning on to the YouTube video, whatever, who there's like Sherman Burdette. What's that? Well, right. Sherman,
who is he?
Is it, when did you leave WNEP?
Well, should we go with what I used to do and go?
No. First, I want to know when you left, and then we're going to get into the arc of your life.
I left in 2009.
What?
2009. And
so it's already been over 10 years.
Yeah, it's been 12. So when I left, because my mom was sick. So I'm from Indianapolis.
All right, but wait, you're already getting too deep. So I just wanted to get that out there for any new viewer, listener. Sherman is a god here in Northeastern PA, a WNEP classic. He left 12 years ago, but he still lingers here. His presence, his identity, his effervescence. He's still here, baby.
Can you still smell me?
I can still smell you. You know what the sad part is? I brush my teeth for this. Now, why would I do that? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, because here's a secret. I didn't. So there you go.
All right. So let's go back to the year. Oh, by the way, I have this bell. Where's my bell? And you can say, hit the bell. I can't find my bell. If I ask something too personal, you just say bell. Oh, here it is. Not answering it. All right. Let's talk about the year of your birth.
Year of my birth, 1960.
Okay. So 1960, first of all, you look like you're about 38, but you were born in 1960. Where?
In Indianapolis.
Whoa. See, that's a part of the story here. So what's the deal? Give me the whole background.
Born, you want to know where? You want to know from day one? No,
I want to know where your parents conceived you.
Probably an alley. I don't know. Probably. No. I was born in India. I was born at a hospital called Coleman Hospital at the time.
Okay.
It's now called Eskenazi. At the time, it was a children's hospital. So it's right near downtown, actually in a historic district in downtown Indianapolis. Near downtown Indianapolis. But I was born, I went to school here. I went to high school here, elementary school, high school. I went to college, went to Ball State.
So you've always been a Mid-East guy. You're entrenched there, right?
Well, that's Midwest, but yeah.
What did I say?
You said Mid-East.
Oh, I don't know why I said Mid-East. You've always been a Midwest guy. I mean, that's interesting.
You're the weather map guy. It could be Mid-East. I don't know.
No, I don't know why I said Mid-East. Of course, Midwest. Now, here's where the questions are starting to get deep and personal. Now, your parents, is this mixed race? Is this, does it matter? No, but I'm curious about your history.
Yeah, there's mixed race. So, you know, the ancestry DNA thing, I don't know if you've done that.
Yeah.
I did that recently. And so throughout family history, we knew on my mom's side, there was my great-grandfather who was Irish. We knew that, but that's always been the story, right?
Right.
But I found out through ancestry DNA that I actually have Jewish roots, believe it or not.
What? Oh, like the Anakazi stuff, or whatever that is.
A European Jew. Yeah. My great grandfather was Jewish, and turns out he was the mayor of Madison, Indiana.
That is
twice. So anyway, but there's Jewish and there's Irish, European. and African in 2 parts of Africa in Kenya and Cameroon.
That's awesome. I mean, you got to feel global.
Excuse me, Nigeria and Cameroon. Sorry.
Yeah, but you got to feel global then.
It is. When I look at my map on there, there's a lot of.
Yeah. But do you want to say that,
basically I'm a mutt.
Oh, well, we all are pretty much, unless you're this purebred weird stuff. But could you put it in simple terms, like your mother was a black woman and your dad was a white man, or anything like that, or you don't want to be that simple?
Oh, that's simple. Well, my mom they're both black, but they both come from mixed roots.
Oh, that's interesting. But you were grown up as a black man with black parents.
Yeah, and all of my aunts and uncles, but they pretty much look Caucasian. So.
Oh, okay. The reason I ask is going to come up later. That's why I want to set that right now.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm curious about a couple things. Thus, Mr. Curiosity. All right. So there you are in elementary school, high school. How many siblings?
One, older. Actually, I had 2. One passed away before I was born. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's just you and a what?
And Herman.
Herman and Sherman.
You know this? You knew this, right? Herman and Sherman.
Sherman, I have to pretend I don't know a couple things for the sake of the podcast.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Well, it's nice to meet you, Joe.
No, and to tell you the truth, I forgot about that. Okay, so I forgot. You're not the only thing on my mind.
I thought I was.
No. All right. So then there you are.
It's funny because you're the only thing on my mind.
So when you're in high school, do you think, the whole time, I want to be a journalist? What are your aspirations? What are you doing? Well,
actually, combination. I mean, I was involved in the yearbook and newspaper in high school, but really what I wanted to do is be an actor. That's what I wanted. That was at the top of my list.
Is that right?
I was in a lot of plays, and I host a lot of stage productions in high school. But I got the message from home. I grew up predominantly with my grandparents. They said, look, if you're going to go to college, okay, because I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to move to New York, be a flight attendant and go audition and take classes.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what I wanted to do. And my grandfather said, absolutely not. You're going to college. You have to have a college degree. You have to have that. So I'm like,
a lot of times that backfires, that forced college thing.
Well, it initially it did, but it didn't, because it rebounds, because Ball State was on a quarter system at the time. So we had 3 quarters for this school year. And the first quarter was horrible for me. I didn't study. I didn't care. I didn't want to be there. I got my grades, and my grandfather's like, okay, you either shape up or something's happening, right?
Yeah, but who was paying for it? Like, how did that work?
He was paying for it. So
what?
He paid my entire, college ride. So
how was he Mr. Big Bucks, or is that too personal?
Not Mr. Big Bucks, but he was a hardworking guy who had his own little network. He had his own, he owned a few houses that he rented, and he was a loan shark. Actually, he'd loan people money. Hey, you want to borrow 20 when you're going to owe me 30 when you pay me back? That kind of guy.
Yeah, but you're creating this impression now that you were like this entitled, spoiled brat, free college.
No.
Then why? You don't appreciate a free education? You're failing out. Come on.
Well, it was because they really, and again, I grew up with my grandparents. My parents were both high school dropouts. So they, there was a history that they did not want me to repeat.
Right.
And they really wanted me and my brother both to succeed in life and go as far as the sky will take us.
Gotcha.
So I took that and ran with it once I realized, look, I'm screwing this up and I need to really buckle down. So I did. I declared a major. I majored in at Ball State, it's called TCOM, telecommunications.
Okay.
And I turned my poor grades around to graduate with, I don't know, with the 3.2 or 3 or something. I don't know. So I really, throughout the rest of my college years, made mostly A's.
Oh, okay. So in high school, like prior to this college thing, were you like a good student or an average student, or what was all that like? Just you're athletic? Were you on the soccer team or something? I don't know. Or no, you were pure.
I was in the honor society. I was a.
Oh, okay. So I'm painting the picture.
I was junior class vice president. I was homecoming king, believe it or not.
I believe it. You're
So,
popular, you're good looking, you're smart.
so I was really active and all that good stuff. But, I just really had this burning desire. I fell in love with playing other characters and people. And it made sense for me as I look back, because one of my favorite pastimes as a kid
Yeah.
was playing dress up. Go figure.
Well, that goes with the thespian and the acting, I would think, right?
I loved playing dress up, and I was always the youngest kid around, and my older friends or cousins who might have been at the house would dress me up and we play characters. So that was my, those are my roots. But this whole thing that I'm doing now that, led me to do this.
But I'm curious then, couldn't you convince your grandfather to say, hey, I'm going to major in some type of theatrical or acting? If you wanted to pursue that, why not combine them? Say, yeah, I'm going to college, Gramps, and I'm going to do this. Why did you go into telecom?
I did minor in theater,
okay.
But here at the time, so I'm searching for the description, but so at Ball State, they did only typecasting. So if the character was not Black, then I couldn't I couldn't audition. So there were really, at the time, there wasn't a lot of roles for me to actually audition for.
This is like 1979, 80. Well, this isn't the 50s. Why would that be the case?
Because I'm in Ball. You might be offending Ball State if you're listening. Anybody? It was Ball State. It's 1978, 79, like you just mentioned, Muncie, Indiana. The theater department, that's just how they rolled. Like in high school,
isn't that something?
High school didn't matter. If you auditioned and you were the best,
yeah,
you got the lead. It doesn't matter if the lead originally was white, Black, Asian, whatever. But
yeah,
at Ball State at the time, and there's a theatrical term for that, and it's escaping me. But
that was elsewhere too. You're saying it wasn't Ball State.
I mean, it wasn't just Ball State.
Oh, that's weird. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're at college and you graduate with this nice, fairly nice degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your first thing now? You going back home, live with the parents, Gramps? You saying, Gramps, give me 10 grand for a car? What's the next move?
Well, Gramps did not give me a car. I had to buy one of my own. He wasn't going to do that. He's like, you got to do your own. But I actually, my grandparents both were very ill at the time. I graduated in 1982. And so I wanted to, pursue a reporter job in TV. Of course, at that time, as you know, well, maybe I had to move around. You couldn't just go work in Indianapolis as a reporter in 1978 out of college. I mean, you had to go through the smaller markets and work your way up. And so I wanted to do that, but I couldn't because I had to stay home and help them. So I worked at a local station here as a videotape editor, and I stayed at home with them.
Oh, so I mean, keep in mind, I have no background at all in broadcasting, communications, TV, literature, nothing. So I didn't know that. So you have to start low. You figure out, I'll shove tapes, I'll clean the urinals, I'll do whatever I have to do
exactly
to get into a TV station, and then you start showing your stuff.
Actually, absolutely. So I had two things going against me. Number one, I couldn't move. Number two, I looked really, really young.
Still do.
And I had braces at the time, which didn't help. So
you have a look at those teeth.
Sherman, you look like you should still be in high school.
Get out of here. That's funny.
So there was that too. So I'm always, Hey, Milo, I'm always about 10, 12 years behind in my TV career. So I guess.
And in your looks.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
So then you did start
getting. No, this is 61 right here, man.
That's what I can't believe. No, I know Zoom makes you look younger because it smooths out all the wrinkles. I bet you if I saw you in HD, I'd see more wrinkles.
No.
Are you a Botox guy? Oh, no. Look at that. So are you a Botox guy too? I mean, because let's face it, even though you're a wonderful human being, there's a little narcissistic, self-absorbed side.
You think?
Where a lot of people are like, whatever. But look at your eyebrows. They're perfect. Look at everything on you. It's perfect. So there's some of that. I'm thinking you're Botoxing.
So no. Actually, I don't on my own. Like, I really, it doesn't make sense. I said it that way. I don't in my personal life,
All right.
but in my job,
Oh,
I have the segment. I have a segment called "Where's Sherman"
okay.
on Fox 59 Morning News, which means where am I that morning? I go a lot of different places, and so I've featured different things. So we've done some Botox segments. So I've had that. We've done some other segments where I've had some stuff done, but nothing permanent. No, Botox is not permanent. So
I know. I wouldn't know actually. I'm just a wrinkly old mess. So,
actually, you look really good.
so when you're in the Midwest and you're still living at home, then like you're with
Oh,
your,
right then, yeah, I was living at home. Then I decided, throughout college, I never had a boyfriend or anything like that. I never, like a lot of my friends had boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, and I never did. I just, after, my grandfather put the fear of God in me to graduate and do well, that's all I focused on.
right.
And so at the time I was just anxious, like I don't have a boy, I don't have any, I've never had that. So
You never
I
had that. Now you're already in your early 20s and you never had that.
I never had a boyfriend or girlfriend
That's hard for me to believe.
I know. So, I have friends, but no, I never had that. So I was anxious, and I met this guy who was a police officer, and we wound up living together.
So you move in with him or whatever, who knows?
Yeah, which was a huge mistake.
Yeah, but when you said you never
That's
had
another conversation.
Yeah, gotcha. But when you said you never had that, when I started turning 12, 13 and puberty happens, it's almost like that's the only thing in your mind. How did you avoid that?
I don't know. I guess because I don't know. I guess I don't really have an answer to that.
Okay.
It just wasn't something that was, I mean, obviously I realized growing, you go through puberty, you go through all of that, of
Yeah.
course. It just wasn't, I was really a nerdy child,
Okay.
to be honest.
I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
nerdy too, but from like 13 to 20 something, all I'm thinking is hang out with my buddies, find women, hang out with my buddies, find
But
women.
you're a horny jerk. So
Hey, this is a G-rated podcast, and that is not true. I am a happily married, monogamous, good guy. You know it.
I know. I love your wife, by the way. But
She loves you too. She misses you. Everyone at work, when I told them I'm doing this podcast, oh, tell me
you know what?
you lead love wherever you go.
Can I tell you that I miss I miss WNEP. I really do.
No, you can't get to that yet. All right. So what's we're gonna get to that. Listen, my brain can only work in a linear arc fashion. I can't jump
I don't know,
around.
but you know what? I think you're bearing the lead, though. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, what do you mean?
You won't let me talk about it yet. So
No, we're gonna get to that. Yeah. All right. So what's your next job? The police officer thing doesn't work, and then what happens? You're with
gosh, there's a long story to that. So I wind
all
up
right. Skip a line and go to your next job.
I moved to Los Angeles.
Whoa.
And then I decided to my grandparents passed away. I decided, I'm going to pursue that acting thing that I wanted to do. So I moved to LA, and I was there for almost 4 years, did some auditioning, came close to landing a role, actually a pretty decent role on a TV show called In the Heat of the Night. You probably heard of it.
I did, yeah.
I came close to being on that show. That didn't work out, and it's like I came to a crossroads. It's like, do I keep doing this? And I worked probably, I don't know, 15 different, we call them out there when you're in the business, survival jobs. So you work as a waiter, I worked as a waiter, I worked as a chauffeur, delivery guy. I mean, I did so many survival jobs, and I finally just said, I can't do this anymore. I need to go back to TV.
So was this all through your 20s? Like how many years are we talking?
Yeah. It was all through my 20s. And by the time my first on-air job in TV wasn't until I was 29 going on 30. That was my first.
Really?
Yeah. That was in Meridian, Mississippi.
Oh my God. So you're in LA, you're bouncing around, you're in the Midwest, you're East, you're in South, deep South, you're all over the place.
Mm-hmm. It's a map. But here's the deal. one of the things that when I was raised on being able to, to dream and kind of go
Yeah.
and pursue. And that's what I did. I mean, that was kind of, if I could say, a gift that my grandparents mostly gave me, just to dream big and go do your thing. And
Yeah, but there must have been a yearning, because let's contrast you with me, for example, with this. And maybe you're going to call me just some
Are we
hillbilly.
getting serious now, Joe? What's going on?
No, I'm being serious. Maybe you're just going to call me a ham and egger from northeastern PA. But out of college, which it was 3 hours away from where I grew up, I never had what you're saying you had. My thing was always, I want to get back to my hometown with my buddies, find a good science job. And I didn't have some type of yearning to explore or see LA or test myself in the deep South. So I don't know. Does that make me, does that make me backward?
No, that makes you Joe. I think of you more as a pierogi. What did you say you were?
Like a pierogi eating northeastern Pennsylvania.
Actually, no, seriously. We all have different
I got it.
Dreams. And that was just how, a big part of it was being from a divorced family, and my mom and dad divorced. They actually have a weird story where they married.
Well, maybe that's a part of it. There was chaos that you wanted to get away from.
Yeah, there was chaos with my mother. I mean, my mom and dad were just their relationship, and they married each other twice. And yeah. And so,
well, see, my upbringing was like Mayberry. So I just,
I did not have Mayberry. So there was a big thing too. I just really despised what my family upbringing was at the time.
Oh, so there's a little rebellion. There's a little,
I guess there was, but I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not so bad. But yeah, I think at the time, I really wanted to make a path for myself. My grandparents encouraged that, but I just didn't want to be, I didn't want to be my mom or dad and have this crazy relationship and, back and forth. And
well, is this a Bell problem that I'm going to ask you now? Did they have an issue with your sexual orientation or no? Was that a part of it? I don't know.
No, I don't.
No, okay. So you weren't escaping from that.
Let me rephrase that. I think in most families, there's typically some kind of, oh my gosh, my kid's gay.
Yeah.
Which to me is really unfortunate.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
But in some families, there's, they embrace it. For my family, I remember one time, I don't remember how old I was, but I was telling my mom, I was like, I thought I was like coming out to my mom, and she's like, yeah, we know. That's not breaking news, Sherman. But I think there was a struggle on her end to accept that. And it was definitely a struggle on my dad's end. I mean, he was not, and he really wasn't in our lives very much. So I really resented how he felt about that.
No, I see.
Because
anything that makes someone different or step or out of the norm, it could be sexual orientation. It could be you're a brilliant pianist. It could be you're an artist. It could be you have diabetes. It could be anything. Anything that sets you apart from everybody else could be an issue for others. That's just the way life is.
And you know what? Here's my thing. I don't let that does not interfere with me at all.
I know it doesn't. And that's why we're here today, because you're an inspiration to me and others.
I think a part of it has to do with just bringing, some of my background is just, hey, one day, I'm going to say this is going to be brief. I've been actually writing a little memoir. I don't know if I'll ever get it done.
I want to read it.
I had this quickly. I'll tell you a story. My dad comes over to visit us at my grandparents' house. I'm 16 years old. He doesn't like the way I'm dressed. He thinks I'm dressed like a fag, as he called it, and a sissy.
Yeah. This is your grandfather, the guy that paid for college?
No, this is my dad.
Your father. Your dad. Okay, I'm sorry.
Comes over to our grandparents' house. Sees me dressed the way I am. He doesn't like my hair and how. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he proceeds to call me, all kinds of things related to that. in a negative way, and yells at me, screams. I start screaming back, it becomes a shouting match. My grandfather comes upstairs to my bedroom and kicks my dad out of the house. And tells
Now,
him to
does
get-
that mean that your grandfather was more progressive and understanding and liberal at the time than your own dad?
I don't know. I think my grandfather just felt like, you know what? Sherman needs to be whoever Sherman is.
Yeah. Well, that's rare
So,
for an older guy
Um,
back then, I
and
guess.
he said, in fact, after the reason I was mentioning the story, I remembered like it was yesterday. He kicks my dad out, and then he comes back upstairs in my room, and I'm of course crying, and I'm just like, what the F happened, right?
Yeah.
And he was drunk. My dad was total alcoholic. And so my grandfather just looked at me. He's like, Sherman, I want you to remember this always. Be who you are. Be who you are.
Jeez, I love it.
So, and he
Dude,
said,
you're-
don't let anybody ever change who you are. And he said, I want to tell you something. Don't let a situation control you. You control it. So
See, Sherman, my eyes are getting watery right now. That's why I want to do this, because that's inspiring. I love it. This is it.
Really? Is
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. And for a guy, I don't know how old you were at the time,
Mhm.
but I had a dad who
16
never
at
said
the time.
anything negative to me in my life. So I can imagine that's
Oh.
got to be hard to take if you have a
Oh,
dad
it's
saying,
really tough. So we didn't, I was estranged from him for a long time. But it does influence
my God,
your
yeah.
life. I mean, it influences your changes. And I didn't want to ever be that person, to anyone in my life. I never wanted to be I never wanted to inflict the kind of pain that I felt in those moments with my father, and sometimes even with my mom, although my mom and I became really, really close.
I wonder if that led you to become the joy-bearing agent you are to the world today. Because I'm serious. Everyone loves you and misses you. You make everyone feel good about themselves. So maybe it's that negative that created this immense positive. No.
No. I mean, I have people say that to me. I do a lot of interviews with people who I've never met.
Yeah.
And, we meet, we go on TV for a morning, and the whole idea is it's not scripted. It's, and we're featuring their restaurant or whatever business. And, one of the things that most people always leave with, they're like, oh my, that was so easy. You make me feel so comfortable. Like,
yeah.
I don't know really where that comes from, but it's just, I don't know.
That's your natural gift from the universe. And that's why we're doing this now. Everyone wants to be near you, by you, laugh with you. It's what it's all about. Dude, I miss you. I love you. This is 12 years ago, and I'm still connected to you. You know what? That's true, isn't it? I still laugh. Sometimes Joe will text me like out of the clear blue. Like random. It'll be something that'll just make me laugh. It's always something that makes me laugh. And I just have to tell you that. I know that we don't see each other, obviously. But I just love that connection. I have to tell you that face to face. I love when I. I know. I feel the same way. I love when I randomly hear from you. You know when people say stuff like, "Hey," what's that? Well, here's an example. When people say stuff like, let's say I was driving to California. I'm driving cross country, and then I have a friend who's in Pittsburgh or Missouri, and they say, "Oh, stop by," but you never do because it would be awkward. You're one of those guys I really would stop by. See, and I would really say, come on in. I would definitely. Absolutely. So, but I think for those who don't know, you are so popular. I have to tell you, I tell people about you here and they're like, what? I'm like, this guy is like off the chart popular. And, but he's just really funny. And, he'll throw you an insult. And you go, oh my gosh, should I be insulted or should I laugh? Like, what should I do? Because it's not an insult, though, is it? You're just like, what's it? So, well, you and I have always had a really fun relationship. And I know you have that with a lot of your coworkers, but it was always really, really, I miss Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy loves you. The thing is, that's how I grew up. I miss Mindy and Ryan. You guys, I know, I miss you guys.
I peek in on you. I see you guys. I see what you're doing. I love your morning show is just fantastic. So
Forget about all that. So when are we going to get to 16? You're in your 30s maybe now, and
are
you're
we still
still
talking about that?
Yeah, I still want to know the arc. So you're going back and
Okay,
forth.
yeah, I go to LA. Remember, I went to LA and
I want to know when 16 pops on your radar after how many of these jobs and everything.
Oh, 16. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so when I leave, I go to Meridian, Mississippi.
Another TV station.
What
What are you doing at all these stations? You're like a reporter
So I
covering
left
fire.
LA. I left Los Angeles, came home briefly, got a job in Meridian, Mississippi. I was a sports anchor for a minute.
You're not a sports anchor, are you?
I was then.
Yeah, but I don't see that.
And then, yeah, I didn't either. But then I left there and I went to St. Joseph, Missouri. These are all small markets.
Doing more, just more reporting, more TV. So all these are small TV stations.
Yeah, small TV station. I was an anchor in St. Joseph. I think I was there for like 2.5 years. And then, then I went to Wichita, Kansas. Where I did a morning show. And I also I was beat reporter. I did political beat. I did health news. I did several beats when I was there. And then I went to Kansas City and worked there as a morning anchor.
So is it everywhere you went, though, you felt like this is easy for me, I'm doing a good job, I'm appreciated, I'm a success, but you wanted more? Like why not just settle in at a place and say this is it?
Well, see, that's where the TV thing comes in. When, if you're pursuing, the idea is to move up to a bigger market. I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to make more money, I want to, but along the way, there were a couple of times where I thought, okay, I'm just going to stay. I thought I was going to stay in Wichita for a minute. I thought I'd just go stay. I love Wichita, Kansas.
But did you feel at each of these jobs like I found what I should do in life? I'm good at it. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, which I was still, getting my legs, but I was really appreciated there. Pretty popular. I guess Kansas City was not a good stay for me. There were some issues there. We did a startup morning show,
right?
And in our business, if you do a startup, meaning, hey, they're just gonna launch a new show, morning show or whatever, there are always issues with that, and they're struggling to get ratings, so I moved from there. I went to upstate New York. I worked in Rochester.
Jeez Louise, man!
I got canned.
Whoa!
7 years there.
Stop right there. How did the canning happen?
Okay, so new company comes in.
I think we got some dirt.
New company comes in, buys the station, and they get rid of all the talent.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't nothing personal.
It was a startup news organization, and actually, it's not even a news organization anymore. But it was a startup that we did pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
But they decided they were going to do what was called News Central at the time. So I got let go. We all got let go, and I was out of work. I want you to think on this for a minute. I was out of work for 14 months.
And how old are you at the time? What year is this?
2003.
Okay, so NEP is knocking on the door soon. I love it. So it's 2003. You're out of work for a year and a half almost. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, 14 months. And so I'm going to take you back to an old news director named Dennis Fisher. Remember him?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, so Dennis was my news director in St. Joseph, Missouri.
Oh.
So we knew each other. And he saw that I had applied for a job, which was the consumer reporter job at NEP. So he sees it, and then he calls me, and he's like,
wow.
Why are you not working?
Wow.
And I explained it, and he's like, okay, I want you to come here. I have a job for you. It's a consumer job, but I want you to put your personality in it. I just want you to make it whatever you want.
Wow.
So you didn't know any of this part.
No. So when you were unemployed for a year and 2 months, were you actively searching like every day, or were you just like, I'm going to chill for a while and collect? Like, were you nervous? Like, I'm going to go anywhere?
No, Well, I was actively searching, and I wound up signing with an agent in New York, a pretty big TV talent agent in New York. And I'm going to quickly tell you this too, but I'm not going to say the name of the agency, because if I say the name, then what I'm about to say about them would, could be.
Okay, well then don't say it, right?
But so I'm not going to say that. But anyway, so I signed with this agency in between, being out of work, and I go in and I fly into New York to meet them, have this roundtable discussion. And again, pretty big agent. I mean, they have clients that are on the Today Show, and high-end clients, high-end talent clients. And so, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we see from my tape and everything. They were all excited. Yeah, we're going to represent Sherman. And the guy who runs the agency, as we're sitting in this round table, comes in, sits down, we start talking. And one of the first things he said to me was, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you're too gay acting on TV. You really need to tone down the gay thing. It's just, it's.
But were you turning something up, or were you just being you?
I was just being me.
Okay. So that sounds like a lawsuit.
I was shocked.
I know. Yeah.
I was like, what? Here I am. They fly me in. This guy, they fly me in to insult me, I guess.
I know. Yeah.
So I signed with them, and they weren't moving on anything. They weren't, and then finally they just said, yeah, we're not gonna represent you. We can't. And I didn't want to be an anchor. For the story was, I wanted to get away from the anchor desk, because I had been anchoring for so long, and I just wanted something that I could do my personality. I just wanted to have. And so they dropped me, and that's how I wound up coming to NEP after reconnecting with Dennis.
Wow.
Fisher.
So our news director for a brief time in the early 2000s was Dennis Fisher, and he happens to know you from a brief stint with you in Missouri. Is that what it is?
In St. Joseph, Missouri, actually 2.5 years in St. Joseph. Yes.
So he knew you, he knew your talents. He knew that this may work in Northeastern PA. He says, come on down. You're unemployed. I had just started there full time in 99. So this is just 3-4 years into my permanent new career. And then here comes Sherman. So I got to know, you first come to Northeastern PA. Is this your first time in Northeastern PA back then?
Yeah. And I remember looking at the markets, you're looking for a job, and you go, oh, maybe I'll work here. Maybe, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. I'm like, huh?
What did you think of that? That title? Like, you don't know much about it? You probably thought.
I didn't know much about it. I mean, of course, in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh and Philly.
Yeah. Did you think 2 hours away from Philly, 2 hours away from New York City?
Yeah, and I thought it's close to the city. Oh my gosh, it's close to New York, it's close to Philly. Could be a great. And when I came in to reconnect, I should say, with Dennis, it would turn into this. Hey, this is what we're gonna do, and it's I can't pay you what you're probably used to, but this is what, and this will get you back working and get the kind of job where you want. So that's what happened. And
but was your even though you were kind of pulled here, was your heart in it where you're like, this is it, yes, or you're like, oh, okay, whatever?
Yeah, it was kind of like, huh, okay. It's a job. But then, but I have to tell you, but there's several things happened, and I fell in love. My dogs fell in love with the station. I fell in love with the area.
You really did. So you're not just pandering to our audience.
So I just, I felt at home, and it just made sense. It's like, okay, I could stay here.
Well, may I ask you a few personal questions? So the whole thing is personal, I guess. But how many stations were you at before WNEP? Is it like 5, 6, 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 stations. All these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, and I trust you're not going to pander, is there something special about WNEP based on those 6, or is it just another?
No, I don't know. I got to tell you this: the station itself is definitely special. It's definitely different. That was one of the things that Dennis said to me when he spoke. He's like, you're not going to believe this, but there's this thing that WNEP has in this market that, I mean, viewers are drawn to it. It's run a little different than most TV stations in that, it's not your typical hey, come to work kind of place. It's really more of a family, unit. And he was right. I mean,
Get out. I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
There's so many people. And, for me, I was used to moving around the country. So I always wound up meeting people, and everywhere I met that, which I feel like I was really blessed. In every market I worked, I always met a family of people or whatever.
Yeah.
Take me in, and I'd have Christmas with them, or.
But here there was more.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a person who I connected with, and you're not gonna.
I know who that is. Yeah, the
Jean Marie.
Yeah.
Because I guess you guys used to see each other getting your hair cut or something.
Yeah, it was a haircut thing. Exactly.
Yeah. But so Jean Marie and I are still friends.
I love it. Of course.
She probably texted me this morning. I don't know. We text all the time. I have a friend, Jan DeMuth, and her husband, Paul, and their family. We're still connected.
So you just made these connections.
Mhm.
But I gotta ask you this, and this is where maybe I'll get myself in trouble. I gotta choose my words tactfully. Okay, so I was born and raised in Northeastern PA. So for example, I'm your typical Northeastern PA guy. When I graduated high school, aside from when I would leave the area with my parents or something, I had no contact. This is through my 18 years of life back in the 70s and 80s with even a black man. This area doesn't have a lot of diversity. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 generations of people who don't
2, 3, 4
on purpose. 2, 3, 4 generations of people who don't leave the area. And there's not a lot of ethnic diversity here. So you're coming here as not only a black man, but a gay man in an area that I think it's got great characteristics, but one may not be diversity. And was that ever an issue or thought on your head?
Well, no, because
it's not like progressive Philly or something. You know what I'm saying?
I worked in St. Joseph, Missouri, which is probably, whiter than where you are.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wichita, Kansas. I mean, that really was never part of, I don't know. I don't really think of it that way.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's courage, I think, on your part. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing.
I'm sure people probably looked at me in that way, but for me personally, it's just people are people. And again, coming from a really, kind of mixed, diverse background too. It's never.
That was never a factor.
Not even.
All right. That's good to hear. So when you first entered the building and started meeting people, me, Tom Williams, whoever else, who was the anchor at the time, Mike Lewis, others, did you immediately feel like these are good people? These are kind people. What are these people? What'd you think?
I don't know.
You don't remember.
Yeah. I don't think I was just trying to, at that time, really trying to get back to work.
Oh, okay.
Focus on this whole new journey and where it was going to take me. And and there's this guy, you remember Bob Absher, who was the assistant news director, who if anybody's watching who's worked at NEP knows, he was a real, did I say hard ass?
He was very rigid. He was very, very rigid and proper.
Very rigid about things and how things are supposed to be written, and always had this thing that everything had to be written the way he thought it should be. And
you and I aren't like that.
I was warned about him before. Dennis warned me, and he goes, Sherman, you have a lot of experience in this business, and I know you have your style, so you're just gonna have to push back on him and say, hey, this is
good.
So, I pushed back on Bob a lot, and I know people who praise him and say, he was really great. He did make me a better reporter in so many ways. I think he really made me a better writer in so many ways, to think about, specifics and being really correct. which was a great thing. And there's a lot of things that Bob might have said to me back in the day that still kind of run in my head. But, I'm stubborn too. I was like, I'm going to do this my way.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Right.
But did you feel it was more fertile here than other places where you can be you and you blossomed more here, or not necessarily? I don't know.
No, yes and no. I felt like it was a place that I could stay.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like, yeah, I can stay here. Definitely. And I probably, you can't say, I don't know, obviously, but, I don't think my exit would have been quite as abrupt. Let's just put it that way, as I felt it was, if my mother had not been sick.
Right.
And
So that's now 5, 6, 7 years in. I forget. How long were you here? You had to be that long, right? From 2000 and
almost 6 years.
6 years.
Almost. Yeah. So,
and we're buddies and everybody's having a good time.
you know what?
Sherman, the viewers love this guy. It's just boom, boom, boom.
Here's my date. How you can't see it.
Yeah. Raise it a little higher. Date higher. There it is. As the memories begin. Are you hiding something below that or no?
Oh, there's a picture of me.
Sexiest man alive. Well, look at this picture. As long as they're showing pictures.
Hey, look.
Look at, I got one too. Look at this one.
Oh gosh.
Come on, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great?
We're at some party.
Yeah. So that's us having a good time. We love Sherman. So,
Oh, wait.
see, Sherman still looks exactly the same. St. Patty's Day. I love it.
Patty's Day parade.
I think here's the magic of Sherman.
Look,
and maybe
with Charla.
Oh yeah. I just did a podcast with her a few weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
You caught up with her. Maybe this is the magic of Sherman, or maybe this is the great skill of deception with Sherman. Are you ready?
What's that? Okay.
Because you showed that picture of you at the St. Patrick's Day parade. You, whatever you do, seems genuine. Or maybe it's that you're so fake, it comes off as genuine. Where some people, maybe some people do things and they can do it so skillfully that you can't tell they're being insincere. You just come off as genuine with everybody, so everybody loves you. Is that it or what? I don't know. Like when you're doing a story with someone at the St. Patrick's Day parade, a lot of people they're dragging the line, they're going through the motions, but you seem honest and true in everything you do.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. I was so into those parades, and then I'm the worst when it comes to a parade if we're walking, because I will stop and talk to people, and the next thing you know, the parade is the group is down 2 blocks.
Yeah, because you're warm. You're
down
warm.
the road. Somebody will stop and they want a picture, or we start talking. I don't know. That's genuine. I've done parades.
Yeah, it is. I know. I'm kidding. It's genuine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fun. I don't know. I think I just think that there's when you put others first, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
I think when I do what I do, I tell people I had this segment where Sherman. I have a sticker. Look at that. It's got my.
Like see, Bug, look at that. I love it. So what you just okay, so that's cool. Where is he going to be the next day? You don't know.
Yeah, it's a window thing. They put on that. Hey, Sherman was here. But I always tell people, look, it says where Sherman, but the segment really isn't about me. It's about whoever we're talking to that morning. It's about them, and so that's my approach. I don't know, my partner, Bill, might be like, oh, well, you don't have to live with him. But
everybody says that, though. Everybody says
right. That. I mean, I certainly have my moments, but I will say this. I try to show that what I'm thinking and feeling is genuine. Sometimes I'm not really sure where it comes from either. Like someone will say something. I was like, why wasn't I mad if they said that to me? I should be like cussing them out or something. But
no, well, that's why I connected with you, because you don't take yourself too seriously, but yet you're honest, true, and genuine. You have no ego as far as I can tell. And this is what I love about you.
We are.
Everybody has an ego. I get that. But warmth, genuine, loving, caring, the egoless. You can laugh. You're the kind of guy that would never go to HR. That's why I love you.
No, I would not. We could have gone to HR on each other several times, right?
Yeah.
There's no HR in my vocabulary. It's kind of like
Me neither.
yeah. And you know what, Joe? I don't understand. Sometimes I really don't understand some of the people who take themselves so seriously, especially in our business,
Oh, I know.
who seem to put themselves before everything. And sometimes, putting their opinions before everything, which is, something, a trend in TV news that I absolutely despise. But I look at that and I go, what? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why, why you think of you so much that you feel, compelled to do that. I don't understand it. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how handsome you are. I
Yeah,
don't
how
care
smart you are, how
smart you
knowledgeable, your
are.
accomplishments, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all have pluses and minuses, and so it's all about just I like to celebrate the quirks in myself.
Yeah, baby. You got that right. I
I have
love
a
it.
lot of those.
That's another thing I love about you. So when the career is in 2008, 9-ish, and then was your mom in failing health for months, or was it kind of sudden? What?
Yeah, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2007. So I was going, back and forth as much as I could, coming back home, to being here like when she was going through surgery, trying to coming home to be with her at some of her chemo treatments. And it was getting to the point, and she's starting to get really, really sick. And I thought, I was going to have to go in. I don't remember who our news director was at the time, but I was going to go in and say, I need to take a leave of absence.
Would that be Stuber, I wonder, at the time, or was it? I don't know either who that would have been. We've been so many, but anyway, so
maybe Carl was. No, Carl.
No, I think he was a little later.
Carl came after I was there. Yeah, but so I was, really thinking that I needed to take a leave of absence, and I was going to try to figure that out, with Denise and Bob in accounting, and
yeah.
Talking about. So I was going to go. I was thinking to approach them and say, what do I need to do? And then I got a email. Do you remember Andy Hirsch?
Sure.
Yeah, he used to work. So Andy emails me and says, hey, I know a guy, and his name is Lee Rosenthal, and he's the news director in Indianapolis. And I know you're from there, and they're looking for a new morning reporter. And so he's like, is it okay to give him, if I give him your, email? So he did, and I get an email from this guy, Lee, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was going to be home to see my mom. And while I was home to see my mom, I dropped in on, which is Fox 59, WXIN, and met with them, talked. And 2 days later, I had a job.
But so is this like a dream come true in a way? This is your hometown area, not exactly hometown, but close to it, right?
It is my home. It was in Indianapolis, but I actually live in.
So you knew of the station your whole life?
I grew up. Actually, I interned at our sister station.
Wow.
I was at Channel 4, WTTV. But yeah, I always wanted to. I wanted to be on TV in my home. I love Indianapolis. So I always wanted to be, it was always a dream of mine, but I kind of put that away because I didn't think that was going to happen. So I thought I was going to stay in, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre for a lot longer.
That was my next question. So if the arc of this universe were differently and your mom was healthy through her 90s, is there a way maybe you would have stayed here forever, or wasn't like that?
I would have stayed there a lot longer.
A lot longer.
Sure. I was doing Does It Work? Remember, I think Kurt does it now. Yeah. So that became really popular and fun. And, I'd get stopped. Hey, there's a Does It Work guy.
Yeah.
So I think someone one of our coworkers said at some point, you know what, Sherman, that's going to be on your grave. Doesn't work. So there was that thing. That was the real, it was really cool. It
Well,
was
sure,
fun.
sure.
And so I didn't really think that I was going to leave. I certainly wasn't thinking I was going to leave anytime soon. Now, I wasn't looking for a job. I guess if that, to say that.
So
But then
you weren't. The universe spoke, knocked on your door, and
Mhm.
what else is going to pull you away than your mother's
wasn't-
love?
yeah,
I mean,
I
it's the
wasn't-
perfect scenario.
Yep, I wasn't looking for a job, and my contract was just about up at the time, so all the timing all just happened. And we were actually the station at the time, WXIN and WNEP were actually sister stations, so we were owned by the same company there for a
Right.
minute. Local TV, Tribune, right? Anyway, that's inside stuff. So it was a smooth transition. But I tell you, I was starting to work, and you asked me about WNEP, and I'm going to just quickly say this. When I got to the newsroom where I am, I was like, oh my gosh, I hate this newsroom. You know how WNEP is like, people are funny and everybody talks. And it's all good. It wasn't like that at all. It's still not like that for anybody that's watching this going, oh my gosh, Sherman's talking about his current employer. It's just a different vibe,
Isn't that something? And I would think it's like that everywhere. Like WNEP is my only station. I've never done news or anything.
I know. See, you don't know any better. You never know any better, John.
That's the story of my life.
That's the story. Yeah. But it's not.
But why?
I don't know.
It's more professional. It's more.
I don't.
Why would that be the case?
I don't know. It just has never been that kind of, environment. And if someone who's listening to this and knows happens to be one of my coworkers might be going, oh my gosh, what an
insult. You don't mean it in a negative way.
No, it's just that they've never worked at WNEP, and it is totally a different thing. And we're hanging out with the guys in accounting and going out to drinks with them, and going to parties and visiting and
picking on each other, poking fun at each other, right?
Yeah, it just wasn't. And I think it's a bigger market, and there's, I think, more of a, a lot of people are here to just kind of move on to the next. Now they want to go to Denver, or they want to go to New York or whatever. And certainly we've had people do that. One of my coworkers is, on Good Morning America weekend, Eva Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, Eva. She was from your station.
Yeah, I used to sit right next to Eva.
Get out of here. She just had a child, right?
Yeah, she did. She wrote.
I'm connected now to Eva through you.
Yeah, and I'm still connected. I still chat with Eva from time to time, mostly via Instagram. But she wrote a children's book as well.
Did you get her to do my podcast?
I can ask her.
The hell with you. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding.
But she wrote a children's book. It's really cute, based on her dog. But anyway, so yes, I think that's why, it's just a different vibe. So, but I've managed to survive 12 years here.
I was going to say, so you're there, you're paid well, you have, I guess
always been paid better. So
I guess you got a partner, you got a big mortgage, you got a house, you got it all now, right?
We do not have a mortgage, but we do have, I have a little dog, a big dog down here. I would show you, Frank.
I got my dog Jet right here too. He's hanging out with me.
Let me see.
I don't know. I love everything I see. The colors on the wall, the staircase, falling water, the vase. There's your dog. That's like a
golden doodle.
A golden doodle.
That's Frank. We have two golden doodles. We have Frank and Lucy, and there's a cat, Ava. Bill has 4 kids.
Really? So are they within your life there, or no? You guys?
Well, they're older now, but they're all gone. Well, Katie's the youngest. She is at Georgia Tech as a sophomore. Georgia Tech.
I'm still snooping around your house, and I see the picture of falling water. I see a nice vase. I'm liking it all. Very classy. I don't know if I like that picture behind you. That seems to me. Let me see that picture right behind you there.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
That to me, it's almost
That's Bill's picture.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry then. It just it seems like one of
I'm
those.
sure. I'm sure he can hear everything. He's downstairs in his
You
office.
know when they have one of those coming to your neighborhood and be like the starving artist sale, thousands of prints for $10.99.
That should be one of them. I think
That would be one of them. Yeah.
I think that's some kind of expensive. I mean, some kind of artist who's really good or something.
I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure it's my ignorance again. I'm sure that's all it is. It's me being an idiot.
Do you see all the bottles of wine?
Oh, I see the wine. I see the wine.
Yeah, those are Bill's wine. That's Bill's wine too.
I love it. Well, Sherman, I think we made a full circle from your birth to your current job and situation. And dude, I love you. I miss you, man.
I miss you. I really do. You know what? I gotta show you a picture. I can't. This is one of the things I miss. Can I get to see that?
This is a picture of Sherman with babies and a family. Just so for those listening who can't see this, I don't know who these people are. What is that?
Oh, well, that's right. We got people podcasts.
Yeah.
But you're gonna put this on. Aren't you gonna put this on
YouTube? But it's going to be mainly listened to. But tell. So that's just.
Yeah. So I have pictures of people. It's a family where I went into their house and they did a does it work test. And that was the funny thing about being, doing does it work? You got all these, made as seen on TV products that you're testing. And so you got to figure out how you're going to test. So you got to go in somebody's house, and I would get, pictures with families, and I have so many.
Like you're a part of the family. You're grasping babies. So your current job now, you're the morning guy. You and I are on the same shift, I imagine, right? What time do you wake up?
We're on a different shift. But yeah, I am the morning. So I'm on a Fox affiliate. So we go from 7 to 10.
So you can sleep till what, 4 or 5?
Actually, the morning show goes from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Actually goes from 4 a.m. to 11 a.m. now.
But you're not a part of the 4, 5, 6, right?
No, I'm just part of the 7 to 10. So it's called
Big shot.
Sherman.
Big shot.
Where Sherman, I go around I do highlight different things going on in the city, going around Indianapolis, around the state. New businesses, small businesses, 99% of them small businesses, small shops, restaurants, a lot of restaurants, then events that might be happening, if there's a whatever state fair, all those things. So I get to do all that.
And then when are you done? 11, 12? 1?
Well, I'm not. So I'm the producer, the planner.
Big shot.
I do. Well, I don't know about that. I do the entire process like Brian does.
Yeah.
So I do the entire process, and it takes a lot of time to plan these things out because you have to plan them in advance.
Sure.
So my 90% of what I do is at my computer or on the phone, planning and finding new things and new places.
That's a struggle. I know what you mean, dude. That's tough stuff.
So that's what but recently I've been
to not get old with it, to not be repetitive with it, to always reinvent. That's tough.
It's always about that. And so, from time I've had to change a little from here and there. We'll do things a little different. But right now I still predominantly work from home because since I'm my own producer and writer or whatever, one of my coworkers jokes that, Sherman's the walking newsroom because I have everything with me and all my schedules and calendars. I have a calendar on my phone. I have another calendar. I have a calendar at work that we ran on. And so there's all kinds of, so I can pretty much do my job and not have to really physically be in the building because
you go right from where you plan it on your computer at home to the event, right? That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that was, pandemic caused that, but
now it's lingering. Same reason we're doing Zoom, a result of the pandemic.
It works. I probably work more now than I did because I used to, when I come back from my segments and go to the newsroom, it was very, there's just a lot going on in the newsroom. And I found it distracting. I'm like you, I got a shiny object. There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm looking, I'm hearing all these things. I'm hearing conversations that I shouldn't hear, or whatever. It all gets really like, So my ADHD or whatever, okay. So I find that I'm more productive because I used to go home, sometimes I tell my boss, I'm like, I'm going to go home, work from home because there's just too much going on. So, and I have Frank next to me and all that good stuff.
So how do you stay still so young and sexy? Do you workout routine pretty intense? You've always been a workout guy.
Well, I don't think I'm either, but
young and sexy. No, but you must. You're CrossFit. You're running. You have weight. You're doing something.
Oh yeah, I train. Not as much as Ryan does, but I
Right.
do.
There's a part of me that wanted.
I train. Well, I have 2 personal trainers at different types of workouts. So there's 4. And then I do, I incorporate yoga. Yoga is one of my, I don't know, it's my thing. Because of the pandemic and so forth, I hadn't been able to do as much, but yoga is, I think yoga is one of the things. And when it keeps you, I don't know, first of all, centered. And then it keeps you need
something. Yes, you need something. That's what cycling is for me. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going biking for 3 hours. You need something. Bike.
How do you do that? Don't you get scared? I mean, drivers are crazy on the road.
No fear, baby. There's a part of me that was hoping that you let yourself go. You were in sweatpants and you were overweight and sloppy now, but that didn't happen. You still, I mean, does that make me a bad person?
Absolutely, it does. It does. It totally makes you a bad. I don't know how you do that, Joe. You raising all this money, and you and Lecky, Ryan, you guys do all kinds of stuff. I see all that, and of course, Jean Marie, my friend, she's always telling me things that are going on. But well, yeah, congratulations to you. Seriously, for still doing that and still going at it.
Well, as we come to the end of this, could you look me in the eye, the camera in the eye, and tell me that you used to look forward to seeing me in biking spandex, or you don't want to do that?
I can't do that.
You can't do that.
No, wait, look, I've always had a secret crush on you.
I'm honored, man. I'm honored. It's just too bad I'm another American heterosexual male. What can I tell you? Like Lady Gaga said, we're born this way. What are you going to do? Right?
There you go.
All right, Shermy, man. Good talking to you. I'm going to end the recording. And if anyone wants to contact Sherman, relive old times, what could they do?
Well, I don't know.
You want to give the website of the station or your email or nothing? Maybe that's fine. Or they can find you on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. That's why I keep forgetting. Isn't there social media? Instagram, at Sherman Burdette. All of my social media at Sherman Burdette. Instagram, Facebook.
You do Facebook a lot?
I do. Facebook and Instagram. I don't do Twitter. But that or fox59.com. My segments are Where's Sherman. You'll find it, and they are live.
Oh, I love it.
Morning.
I may start watching those. That sounds pretty cool.
You can watch me on TV on your laptop or device, as they say.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'm so glad that you have a secret crush on me and you liked seeing me in spandex. And it was not great talking to you. It was awesome, folks. It was awesome. We love this man, Sherman. I'm going to hit the big button that says stop, and then we're going to talk more after this. Are you ready, buddy?
Can I give Dawn a big kiss?
Here it is. Dawn, my wife. He just gave her a kiss.
Yeah.
Right back at you, brother. Peace.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.